Welcome everybody to Tech Talk. And today we have a really great topic. As you know, I've been playing around with AI for the last little while. I don't know if anybody has seen on Facebook. I know Lindsay has, Catherine has. I've been just playing around with Midjourney. Very fascinating. Let me tell you something, Catherine. I'm glad that you have not been able to do it yet, because if you want to lose 4 hours, start playing with Midjourney.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's that way, right? And you start coming up with, how about a shark in the water behind a Coke bottle? And then it comes up with it for you, right? So, and that's literally something that I literally just saw that somebody posted, and it looked kind of cool. So, and then the question is, what is happening with us in 30 years when AI has really dominated everything, Sheila? Like, what are we going to do? Like, AI is going to just take over. And by the way, AI is developing some attitude as well. I don't know if you know that, but it's getting some attitude. Anyway, so let's first look at the announcements for next week. Of course, Catherine has morning coffee Monday morning. Thank you, Catherine. Any topic yet?
We're going to carry on with a new business theme and look for every business owner's one habit that they recommend to a new entrepreneur.
Great. Coffee. There, solved.
Yeah, other than that, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And then on Tuesday, of course, we have in Chatham, we have the morning mixer going from 8 o'clock until 10. That's Tuesday morning in Chatham at the William Street Cafe. And then, of course, right after that, we have starting at 9:30, we have the city leader call and the city leader and city councilors. Okay, so that's happening on Tuesday. And then, of course, on Thursday, what do we have on Thursday? Tech Talk. I was just commenting to Catherine, Lindsay, that up until December, we've been talking a lot about electric cars and electric car batteries and all that stuff. And then AI came along, like ChatGPT just kind of burst on the scene. And that's all we can talk about. No more robots, no more AI. So
I think this copy AI thing made it like skyrocket.
Isn't it amazing? Everyone here has used it. You've used it, Sheila, right?
Mm-hmm. I think I have it on my phone.
Yeah, it's quite something. So I don't even go to Google for most things now. I just go to ChatGPT and ask it a question, and it tells me. But Catherine just told me today that she went to it and says, "I'm sorry, but you've used up all of your free time." So I guess it's not free anymore, right?
Well, nothing is. They know that they're going to make tons of money doing this.
Midjourney. I could not get on in any of the beta testing.
Right.
I tried all that. Yeah, because I didn't go on until about 10 o'clock last night, and it said, "Oh, it's all used up. Try again tomorrow." So I thought, okay, I had to finish setting my computer up. Got on it this morning, and every newbie server that I used said, "Nope, sorry, hit subscribe."
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, eh? That I mean, listen, if they just started charging the $20, right?
Midjourney is $8 a month if you pay for the year, $10 otherwise.
Yeah, that's right. Which is nothing, right?
Yeah, that's nothing. I pay more for my Google OneDrive subscription every month.
Yeah,
absolutely. So let me just, what am I doing here? I think this is it, right? Let me move you guys over here, and I'm going to share this screen. Okay, can you see that? Can you see the Google AI? Welcome to Bing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So so that's the beginning of our presentation. And
is there an actual app for Google AI?
So it's being integrated into Google itself.
Got
so
you.
Go to Google. So you've been to like Bing, right? When you go to Bing, it's a little bit different the way it works. Let me actually see if I can pull that up right now, actually, and show you guys. So let's see, voice. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Let's go to Bing. No, I don't want Microsoft to be, but people are switching, which is kind of interesting, right? To
Bing
search. So
interesting.
it's kind of a strange thing. Okay, so when you come to Bing, you can now you'll notice when you're on the page that you can go to the chat, and then you can talk to it just like a chat GPT, right? So when you do a regular search, let's search for emergency training, right? Calgary, Hamilton, right? Let's say, and so you've got all this, and on the side it will list out some stuff. Now, not every category I've noticed, but a lot of the categories it will actually just pull information and aggregate it here, right? So I don't like it personally because a lot of these you don't even have to go to the website because the information is pulled and displayed here. So it elevates the search engine, but it will drop your hits, obviously, the traffic that comes to your website. So not pleased about that. But with the chat, then bang, it's up here, and you can then it then pulls up emergency training Hamilton, and then it generates answers here, right? And I don't know, and this is hope it helps, but you can ask it anything it says. So I don't know, come up with a question there, Lindsay.
Well, they've got suggestions.
And they have suggestions. That's right.
Yeah, do this one.
Right, and then it will then I guess start searching. It takes a little while, but then it'll start typing it out like Chat GPT, what we're used to seeing there, right? So it's interesting.
Wow, it's actually smart. It actually says 70 to 150. Is that accurate, Catherine?
Yeah. What are the
right? So it's pulling information from certain. So it's actually footnoting the sources, right? Which is nice, right? Because sometimes when we ask ChatGPT to give us information, it's pulling it from all over the place, but we're not footnoting it, right?
Well, and Red Cross and St. John's are like the two biggest and oldest, right? So it's understandable that they're there.
Yeah, so we'll play with that in a little bit, but the very first thing I wanted to kind of talk about is I got AI to give me this. It says AI technology has the potential of being to bring about a wide range of benefits to society, including improving efficiency, enhanced decision making, increased automation of repetitive and labor-intensive tasks. AI-powered systems can analyze vast amounts of data and learn from it, which we can analyze it probably, but we're not going to learn from it. AI does, allowing them to improve their performance over time. However, there are a lot of potential drawbacks and concerns associated with AI technology. One of those concerns, of course, is the potential for AI systems to make biased or unfair decisions, particularly when they are trained on biased data or when their decision-making processes are not transparent. And other concerns is the potential for AI to displace certain jobs, particularly those that involve repetitive or predictable tasks. Now, if you were to think about all the jobs out there and how many jobs actually have repetitive tasks, like an admin, right? An admin files things, posts things, answers phones, etc. AI can definitely go ahead and do that, right? Really, really simply. And you're noticing that a lot of AI is used in places like Amazon with their robots to be able to really, just think about one of those distribution centers. If they didn't have those intelligent robots running around, how many people they would actually need to be working in that distribution center, it would be a lot, right? But those jobs are not there now. So it's just robots that are doing those things powered by artificial intelligence. So this is important for us to just keep an eye on. I don't think that we can actually stop it. I don't think that we can slow it down. I think that there's such a feverish pitch towards fueling development of better AI and better understanding of machine learning, et cetera, that it's never stoppable. The genie is out of the bottle, they say. So let's take a look at some of the things. I went ahead and I started playing with Midjourney just a few days ago, and just it blew my mind. The first picture I did, I said, listen, give me a give me a picture of a woman in a red dress with a tiger, right? I mean, what an easy one to do, and put her in a downtown core. I actually asked for it to be in downtown Hamilton, and this is what it gave me: this woman in a red dress. And I thought it was interesting. I don't know what this little thing here at the side is. I don't know what that little bugger, I don't know if you can see that, but the one over on this side,
Looks like a seal.
it looks like a seal. Yeah. So yes, there's a tiger, and I guess there should be a seal if there's a tiger. I don't know what the text is. I asked it to say "this great city," and it's just making stuff up. So, but it's not bad for AI to generate something in about 30 seconds. It's not a bad thing. And of course, I wanted it to create a pin for this great city.
For Calgary Stampede.
Right, for the Calgary Stampede, and that's what it came up with. I thought that was cool, and of course, we've all seen the one that I put on Facebook for the futuristic Volvo. But again, just remember that these, if you were to think about this as not the complete finished product, but just an interim, starting point that you can then take and customize on your own, it's probably taken hours out of the time that you'd spend, trying to create something cool, right? It would take tons of time out of your development time. So that's pretty cool. And then I thought, well, let's play around. Let's put, I want to see about Daniel in the lion's den. How about Daniel in the lion's den taking a selfie? So it came up with Daniel, and of course, he's a muscular young guy, strapping young man, which is nice. That's the AI interpretation of what Daniel would look like. And then somebody just said, try typing in CT Hulu dash fingers. What is that? What is that?
It's from Lovecraft's book. Oh my gosh, what is it called? H.P. Lovecraft.
So it's actually a thing.
Yeah, like it's a book. It's
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do you know the book? What does this picture?
It's just a creature. It's like a god. It's what do you call it? H.P. Lovecraft like made us about like what the like ancestors of our like world would look like kind of situation. So like this is the god of the sea basically, but he's supposed to be like, we're talking like millions of feet high, like living under the sea. It's kind of crazy.
Okay. So anyway, so somebody on Facebook, they saw the pictures I posted of the Volvo, and they said, hey, why don't you type in this and see what you get? And this is what I got. And I thought, first of all, it's a stunning picture, right?
It is.
If you're into that stuff, and for artificial intelligence to kind of crank this out in like no time is pretty cool. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Interesting how the world is going to get perceived after this.
Well, and I really wanted on this, so I did pay for a month, by the way. So I have
you paid. Okay, good.
Yeah, for a month, and it's. I had told you I had that idea in my mind that I really wanted, and so after you're done, if we have time, I'll show you some of mine. It turned out pretty neat.
Love it. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. How about you, Alexander? Have you ever played with Midjourney? No. Okay. So I was watching a video of a photographer who shoots for stock photography, and said, this is the worst that AI is going to be when it comes to creating images. Like what we're seeing today, it's never going to be this bad. So think about what the future is. He's saying that, that Sheila is going to want to put together a poster for something that she's doing. And instead of going into a stock image library and scrolling through pages and pages of images trying to find the right one, she's going to be able to go to a platform like Midjourney and just say exactly what she wants. Exactly what she wants. And therefore that picture will not be seen anywhere else, because she's going to be unique in using that picture, because it's going to be specific to what she's doing. How cool is that? And can you also imagine, Catherine, being able to, like, that's just the norm. Like we're going to talk about, remember back in the 90s when you had to do, or remember back in the early 2020s when you had to go to a stock image place and pick other people's pictures that you'd see everywhere else.
Or illustrations. I approached, Maggie that worked at the office.
Mhm.
Her husband did illustrations, and I showed him some of the things from another book, and it was like, okay, well, I'll put that on the shelf as hopefully one day. But then I was telling you the kind of things that I would love, those side views of just a outline of a body with a skeletal system and somebody
Right.
being on the heart and show them that the circulation. I think that's amazing. I can't wait to start playing with that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is images, but I'm sure that soon you'll be able to speak to and have AI generate a video for you with characters and everything and moving around and saying things that you wanted to say. So that's kind of crazy. Alessandra, you're smiling. What's going on?
And did you get a chance to watch that video I sent you?
I'm sure I did.
There was it was how you could actually make your AI generated images chat, because you could upload the voice clip. And it was talking about how you can upload the voice clip and then it manipulates the image to look like it's talking. It's a little rough, like it's not perfect, but some of them are really funny.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I did that with a thing I did for Catherine, where it was talking about Catherine David, and the woman from Synthesia, I think it was the AI website, and she would just present, and people are saying that they're using these AI people that look real to do newscasts, and but they're not real, and they're able to say whatever they want and make it look legitimate.
Yeah, so they look like B movies right now, but like you said, this is be the worst it'll ever be.
This is the worst.
Still watch B movies, even though we have the high tech stuff that is available.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Here, let me just play this real quick here. I'm only playing to 44, it says. So here we go.
Can AI generated images
Oh.
really replace stock?
Can you guys actually hear that? Okay, that's what I thought. I totally forgot the first rule of Fight Club, and that. Oh wait, have I stopped sharing? Okay, I
Yes.
did. Okay, let me share again. Share screen with audio. All right, so here we go.
Photography, you bet. As a content creator, designer, or someone who frequently puts together presentations, you know how time-consuming and frustrating it can be to search for the perfect stock image. Whether it's for a presentation, a website, or marketing materials, stock images have been our go-to solution for a while. But now AI image generators have entered the scene. No more searching for the right image, just create it yourself. Today, let's explore the most popular types of stock photography and how you can make similar images in Midjourney, Blue Willow, or Firefly.
So listen, I'm gonna highly recommend, and I'll have the link to this in the video when I do it, so that you can actually look at how amazing images are being created in Midjourney. Like Catherine, you went through Midjourney and you could see the pictures that other people were posting, right? You could actually
And
see
variations. That's what I'm really enjoying. Like I did a couple of variations, right? So when you finish yours, I'll show you some of my picks.
Yeah, for sure, because I mean, I would say that I was blown away. Like there was a picture that somebody posted. They just asked it, imagine a cat, with the,
All the Siamese, yeah.
and that cat looked like a photograph. I mean, so that stock photography guy was the video that I posted. I didn't want to put it on here because it took him a long time to get to his point. But his point was that 5 years from now, photography, getting a model to pose, setting up a shoot and all the expense of the studio and everything else, it's not going to happen. The model is going to allow you to use her image, and AI will generate the perfect ad and do the perfect shoot, and that'll be the end of it. So
well, that guy that was doing my videos that you guys were hiring, he graduated. I don't know if he still models or not. I'd never get him back to have the consistent person
right.
doing your stuff.
Right.
I'll share some useful tips.
I mean, so this is AI generated pictures of the Pope. Okay. Okay. This is AI generated. Okay. I you wouldn't know. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, think about this. Does this not look real to some degree?
Yes.
It does, right? I mean, I would think, man, the Pope is looking, really chill with that cross around his neck, and he's, his jackets are totally amazing. So, would you know by looking at this that this is not an actual photograph, that this was generated by AI?
Nope.
I mean, think about it. Sheila, what do you think? No, right? So I find that, my job as a photographer, I guess the only way that a photographer is going to make money 5-10 years from now is if the client actually gives you a product and says, I need to shoot that, because the AI is not going to do that. But
I
other
don't
than
know.
that,
My son was telling me there are sites that you can upload your picture and it makes you into like a superhero.
I did that for myself. I've got pictures of me as a superhero. It's too embarrassing to put on Facebook, but I do look at them myself, look at them every now and then and go, yeah, that's you, man. You're a super. Anyway, so this is very fascinating. Now, I want you to also think about AI. So we've looked at AI in images, right? And how Mid-Journey, you go in there and you tell it to do something and it cranks out some really cool things for you. Some things you have to go back over and over and over again and get it to put in the right words to get exactly what you want. But if you take the time, you can get exactly what you want in a very short period of time, minutes as opposed to hours or days. But this is where it starts to get crazy, because consider this, Alessandra. This is you, right? Imagine that somebody posts on Facebook a picture of you wherever, and you're saying, no, that was not me, right? I mean, anybody can take your likeness if you have a picture on the web, and they can create all kinds of crazy images with you, right? Put you into far right rallies, or put you into very liberal rallies, or whatever it is, and you have to then maybe defend it and say, that wasn't me, I wasn't there. You know what I mean?
But isn't this like coding? Can't they just go in and see in the code and see, oh, that's not a real image?
Yeah, if anybody wants to, I'm not sure how visible the metadata is, because sometimes, when you're transferring an image or you're doing something with an image, it removes the data out of it, strips it out. So, you really need to think about what you're looking at these days. Is this a real thing? I'm going to also show you something. I'm going to play this for you, okay? This is a song with Jay-Z, except Jay-Z is not singing in the song. The guy wrote the lyrics, and he sang, and then he laid down the tracks of Jay-Z singing. Now listen, I don't listen to a lot of Jay-Z, so I don't know. How many people here know what Jay-Z sounds like? Sheila, do you know what? No? Okay. All right. So, but listen here, listen to this.
Tell the young they can never become what they aspire to. Born in a cell with no one who can inspire you.
Your highs are never as high as those that lie to you.
Pretending that they live in the sky, lying behind your roof.
Shooting holes up at.
Now,
it's pretty accurate, but it's like it's missing something.
Is it? Okay, how many people think it's absolutely scary accurate? Right? If you heard that on the radio, you think that was Jay-Z, right?
Yeah, but like I listened to enough of him to know that like it's not, in a sense. But you're right. Like if somebody just casually listened to him, it'd be like, that's him.
Yeah, you could think it was him, but auto-tuned or something.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you guys know this too, but when Michael Jackson died, they released all these extra songs that he created, and he was dead. And that's like his most recent album is him, the same situation where they just took a track of his voice and used it to create the other songs that he never published.
Okay, then the question then is, how many people would listen to a new set of Michael Jackson albums with Michael Jackson's voice that was it was AI generated? If because you like his songs, if it was a great song, would you pay to listen to that
But
voice?
he didn't make it. Like somebody else wrote it and just had it.
No,
played
no,
on
he
his voice.
wrote songs.
Oh, that
and
hadn't.
they just
okay.
never got finished, or they never got published, or whatever. Like they were just a collection of songs that had never been released to the public. So in the album, most of the some other parts are covered by another artist on that song, but it's like half him and then half somebody else. But
Right. So okay. So but imagine that he didn't write it, but somebody else wrote it. But they thought that they can't sing. So let's say that that I wrote a really awesome song, but I can't sing. So I go ahead and I pay a fee, and I get Michael Jackson's voice, and then I put that song out there.
I
Like,
mean,
can
I
you
can
imagine
listen
that?
to, I can't remember who, but I can listen to, I think, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Direct Me Home on Waves, okay? Like, you can patent your voice at some point. I
Oh,
would
yeah,
assume.
yeah, that's right.
And think about Natalie Cole has been singing with her father, who's been passed away, 50, 60 years ago,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. That's right. So
And
imagine
his image.
that you can then upload your voice or your likeness and make it available for stock, basically. And people can just download it and use it and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to have 100 pictures of Sheila, and now Sheila is going to be my spokesperson for my company. So consistently, I just, I paid for the rights to use it, and so I'm just going to keep using her likeness, and I'll have her say whatever I need her to say. I can even have her, on stage and walk into the room in a presentation and do a presentation, but the room is not real in the presentation.
I hate the future of lawyers. Lawyers are going to have such hard times. Like, they're going to have to think about, like, if your voice is out there and you're paying, like, someone's paying like a royalty to use like your voice, then it is what it is, you know what I mean? But if somebody's out there and they're like, I did not consent to this, then lawyers are going to have a heck of a time getting this figured out.
But also, would you? I would want to have first right of refusal. I'd like to be able to say, no, I don't want my voice to be used for this presentation because this presentation does not align with my worldview, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, my voice is out there for, I don't know, you can think of a million things, right?
Open marriages, yeah.
Like open marriages, right? So yeah, Ivan Sutton standing there going, open marriages rock, right? I mean, that would just be no. And even though they paid for it, I don't think I'd like that at all.
But you would be the one that controls it getting paid for it. Right now, this is the bad area. This is a bad, like, no, you shouldn't be allowed to like take anybody's voice. This is why this is going to get very legal very fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like the Wild West right now.
because you're going to have like all these celebrities who are going to be like, I never consented to this. I never did this. I never wanted this. And then companies like Disney are going to be like, okay, well, we're just going to sue the person because like it's going to be the corporation that owns that like celebrity or whatever, or that studio that owns that music voice. You know what I mean? Like they're going
right.
to just have to get all over that.
So
that's why I said it's going to be crappy to be a lawyer soon.
So listen, this Volvo doesn't exist, right?
Of course.
But they've taken the front end of a typical Volvo and they added some crazy wheels, etc. But just thinking about the brains that go into, I mean, this is the worst that AI is ever going to be when it comes to photography, right? The pictures. It is the worst, right? So think about even the ones that I did, like even with this mom and daughter reading, I mean, when you get close up, you can see that there's some imperfections. The cup is a little wonky, whatever, face is a little off. But really, this is a very nice picture that's been artificially generated, and it's going to get better. So soon down the road, like, does this person exist? Probably not. It's just a face that that AI generation has done. But can you imagine what our lives are going to be like in the future when we do not need anybody. We don't, Catherine, we don't need anybody. We can just go ahead and create whatever it is through artificial intelligence. We can have artificial voices done. By the way, if you, Alessandra, wanted to create a digital clone of your voice, you can do that right now. There's some places where you can go in and you follow the steps, and basically it takes samples of your voice. And then from now on, every single time that you're doing a video, let's say it's not morning coffee, the weekly minutes, you just type it out and it's your voice that will be used to read it out, and you don't actually have to record it. It'll be perfect every time. I mean, that is absolutely fascinating to me. Who's with me? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, there's two sides to this, right? And I didn't get to kind of pitch in earlier, but like, we already have enough problems, which is kind of funny because, like, you think back to a lot of things on YouTube that get copyright strikes, right? Because they're able to, without AI, with just whatever sound software they're using, they can already string together sentences. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I've seen, like, I think it's like an Obama rap or something where they've strung together a bunch of things that it sounds like Obama rapping, right? So, I mean, I think the hardest part is that law is always behind on tech. It's never going to catch up because it evolves so much faster, and our systems for law are so old that they're not going to be able to get it done. So by the time they actually pass laws to protect this stuff, it's already evolved, and it's like, well, this is our system, unfortunately. But I mean, even for this, like, yeah, there's good and bad. I mean, I think to people who maybe are really like knowledgeable in their field, and they would probably love to create a clone of themselves so that they don't have to actually stand or present in front of people. They can have another version of themselves, and then they kind of protect themselves because they're not going to have like a panic attack or stage fright, right?
Right.
There's always the good and bad. Or maybe somebody who doesn't feel comfortable just being in front of people. Maybe they have some sort of disability or mobility issue, and they're just like, rather than me having to physically be there, I can just project myself and we're good.
Right. And you know what? And over the next 60 years, you never age. You're always there, always going out, always presenting, always perfect, right? So I find this, and Alessandra, you have hinted on it, is that the legalities of this, and I think this is why Bill Gates and Elon Musk and a bunch of other people came out saying, hey, we got to slow down on AI. But you know what? That's two people. The rest of the world, though, not North Americans maybe, are saying, no, we're not slowing down on this. We need to dominate. And you're only telling us to slow down so that you can perfect it and roll it out. So therefore, we're going gangbusters because we're going to dominate the AI age. Maybe I don't know.
They don't want it oversaturated by the time they're done.
That's right. Don't oversaturate it. That's right.
Can AI
So okay. So basically, let's so check out voices. Now, I'm always looking for a voice to do certain things, and I find that it's harder to, because you can always tell a little bit the voice is a little bit off, right? And because the way it says certain words. This one here is probably the best I've heard so far, right? I think it definitely is the best I've heard so far, but let me know what you think.
Catherine Davies, Teresa Lutz, and Alessandra DiStefano did an excellent job at the Spring Vendor Fair at the STEAM and Technology Museum. It was held on Sunday, April 23rd. Such a good time. We cannot wait until the Fall Vendor Fair happening in September. Thanks again, everyone.
Okay, so what do you think? Was that not cool? Was that not good? I mean,
she's pretty good.
It still sounds robotic.
It does, because she didn't
robotic,
use
right?
any conjunctions, right?
Yes.
Like we cannot wait. We can't wait.
Right.
Until.
Right. Well, that might have been me typing that out. It might have been the word.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So
Because
yeah, conjunctions are a normal part of our conversation.
Yeah,
I
but
think
she
I
still
told
sounds a
you.
little. So go ahead, Lindsay.
Do you remember when I told you that with my Google phone, if I don't want to answer a phone call because it's like a 1-800 number, I can get Google to talk to them for me, and then it'll send me a transcript back.
Oh,
When I accidentally did it to Phil the other day. I didn't mean to, but it happened. And he said, "That's creepy." And I was like, I don't know what it sounds like because all I can see on my screen is it giving the little speech, and then I can see whatever they're saying back to me. But he was like, "No, that sounds right." Because all it
wow,
says is, "This is a Google integrated voice letting you know that this transcript will be sent to the person of the phone call." So it's
amazing.
creepy. Yeah.
Amazing, 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 amazing. So yes, so here again,
That was the best voice, sorry, that I've heard.
Yeah. Same.
yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good for sure. So these things are getting better and better and better and better. And as I told you folks on the previous or 2 tech talks ago, that I got chat.gpt to write a song for This Great City, right? And then I went to another AI tool and had it create the music. And I think I played some of it for you, right? Create the music and sing it, right? so the thing is, imagine that you can say, hey, can you create a song for me? And it writes a song for you. And by the way, the lyrics were awesome. Catherine, you got a song too, right? Did you ever
I
put
want to
that?
hear it.
Did you ever put that song to music? Okay, all right. So, but listen, I think we should probably do a workshop one day to create a song for our companies. Do it, where AI will generate the lyrics for you, and then it will also then create the music for you and put the lyrics together. So
it was good. Like I've got it wherever, but the course and the lyrics, like it was good.
Yeah.
See, that's funny you say that because Phil got approached to do a radio ad, and I'm like, you can't convince me enough to say a radio ad for you, like for me with my voice. But now that you just said that, I was like, that would actually make it way better if I could just get some AI lady to do it for me. If it sounds real, of course.
Not only to do it for you, Lindsay, but also to write things for you. Listen, I've written things before, like I wrote a couple paragraphs about an event coming up for our church, the seniors. And then I thought, you know what, here, drop that into ChatGPT. And I said, can you clean this up and make it more exciting for seniors? And so it did it. It did a great job. I read it over and I was like, wow, that's brilliant. I copied it, pasted it in the website, and that was the end of it. So these tools are, you know what, it's driving, Sheila, you could be a producer of music. You can then go to an AI tool, have it create 5 songs for you, and then use other tools to put that to music, select the ones that you like the best, and then put that out there, and you could be a #1 hit without ever singing a note, right?
No more corny jingles.
No more corny jingles. That's another one. Fantastic, Catherine. You're nailing it. This is generative AI, they call it, because it's where AI will be creative and generate art or concepts for you. It will generate stuff for you. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It's data, like 40 years.
Sorry?
Data from Star Trek.
Yeah, that's right.
And he couldn't be that, like, it had to be logical. It had to follow a certain pattern, right? He couldn't be creative like this.
Right. That's
and
right.
Towards the end, because they started making them adaptive, but it's the same idea.
Well, and you think about the computers that you're having in your home. I mean, we've done a few tech talks on small robots that you can get in your house. Some of them are just cute and they're fun and they play games with you. But there are other ones that are more functional and practical. Imagine a robot that you can buy now that has ChatGPT tech in it, right? That can not only create the song but sing it for you. You say, hey, can you just sing me something nice? So, I'm feeling a little bummed out, and it will automatically generate the lyrics for you based on real time issues that are going on in your life, and put it to music and sing it to you.
I
How
need
many
you
of
all
us
to read
are,
that book.
sorry?
I need you all to read that book that I told you about it, Ivan, but you can go first.
Oh, okay. So I guess the question is, we all run businesses, and we're all out there. We all have things that we do every day that we feel, that makes us feel comfortable with how we're living. How disruptive do you think this will be for your life, to the downside, where it's going to have a negative impact? How many of us feel that this is going to have a potentially negative impact on their livelihood going forward?
I think everything has a positive and a negative, no matter what.
Okay.
I think it'll be positive in the beginning, but then eventually when the world catches up to it, it's going to get really interesting.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not technology afraid because I'm that generation that was born into it. But at the
Right.
same time, some things are becoming too easy that it's changing the way we think about life. I was gonna mention like that whole McDonald's that has no people working in it anymore. Have you guys
Yeah, I
heard
saw
about
that.
that in Texas?
Brilliant. Yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, my first natural instinct was I need to stop working at Starbucks because
It's coming.
it's coming for whatever business.
Has anybody
So
seen that? Has anybody seen that McDonald's? Zero
Yeah.
people working in it.
it's in Texas. It's everything is like you're talking to like an AI person basically at the drive-through, and then it just goes into a computer system that brings down like your McDonald's order, and it's on a conveyor belt, and all it does is just gets put out the window. That's
Right.
it. I
Right.
don't even think you can pay with cash because you have to pay with debit, obviously.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I
guess
think
you'd have
cash
to.
is not. Yeah, exactly. So
But how brilliant is that, though? I mean, to me, that
it's
they
brilliant, but at the same time, how many people are going to be out of a job working for
right.
McDonald's and Tim Hortons and
Right.
Starbucks and all the other coffee chains?
Right. Okay, so the part that I have a hard time with, Lindsay, is that I've always thought that, yeah, you're gonna have robots, but you still have to have people, right? You still gotta have
Mhm.
people in there. And yeah, you have a person, but that one person is now gonna run a district and is gonna go from store to store to store to store to store, making sure that everything's up to date and clean and whatever else. But since there's no human traffic in there, there's really no cleaning. There's no need for a bathroom. There's no need for a whole lot of things. You're just having a store that's cranking out through a window food that is made perfect every time, that we never have to think that someone spit on it, right?
Yeah,
So
I think any realist in this world will say this is an idea, but what's the reality of all these effects that are happening? So
okay.
as soon as I saw it, I thought, okay, there's going to be no cash, so that's going to make cash more harder to get.
Right.
Two, there's not going to be people, and people need jobs. Yes, there may be somebody who has to come by and like do maintenance on the actual place, but then they'll just find a way to like fix it in itself. You know what I mean? Like,
And there
Yep.
can't be dining.
Right.
yeah, like my dad used to work for a company that made mining equipment, and they made a self robotic miner. Like it was a robot, like picture your little like vacuum at home that like moves around, but it's a mining machine. So it could go down into the earth and mine as far deep as you were allowed to without a human being being involved. Like it was self-intelligent. And I
Yeah.
was like, and my dad just kept thinking, like, what's
What's
the
the
point of
future?
me?
That's right. So, okay, so think about this. Think about this. As a business owner, I've had staff in the past. I still have social media staff that work with us. But I think, we're not taking jobs away from people. People are giving their jobs away to AI, right? Because
Yeah.
how many times, Catherine, you've been around when I've hired people and they sucked. They were horrible. Right. And the last thing I want to hear, like as soon as somebody comes into my office and says, and starts to give an excuse, the minute that my brain identifies it as an excuse, I want to fire them and get an AI. I want to get technology in there that will never bug me again. Will come in every single day and it'll work its buns off, except for Sabbath, of course, every day but Sabbath. But the point is, it's going to come in every day. It's going to work its buns off. It's going to do the job, and it's not going to complain. That's what I would like, right? So I think people give their jobs away because they are so human. Go ahead, Alessandra, go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you seen, there's a video, somebody created a robot and it was doing like, I can't remember what the job was it like packing, and it was like putting stuff on a belt, and it hated the conditions so much it had shut itself off.
Stop it.
Have you seen that?
No, that's programming.
So, no, like it had some degree of self-awareness and it didn't like the working conditions, so it shut itself down. So that's not quite, it might not be what you think it is by hiring AI.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, let's take a look at this video here. Oh man, what are your thoughts on that?
Can we just laugh about the fact that I think one of the biggest reasons why Bing is getting so big is because there's so much flack behind Google right now. I don't know if you guys watch the news about what's going on with Google, but it's not okay right now. And I just understand that Google's trying to like come back, but I think everybody's like, oh, we're losing jobs because we work at Google. And I'm just sitting here like, that video right there just proved that you don't have to be in an office for Google anymore. They are trying very hard to not need physical people for them to run now at this point. Like, I have a Google phone, people, and this thing surprises me every bloody day of what it does. Okay. Like,
well, okay, so listen, there's a few, there's Google, right? And then there's Microsoft Copilot. Google, of course, and then there's Google, Microsoft, and one other. Anyway, the point is that these folks are all fighting very, very hard to infuse AI into their software. But think about what we just saw. Catherine sent this to me. Thank you, Catherine. I was like, what?
Well, I'm blown away right now.
So yeah, just think about it, that you're putting together a presentation and it's using AI. Now, this is not something that they're thinking is going to happen by 2030. It's something that they are putting into Copilot, is something that I guess is now, right? So and
emails anyway that I'm aware of.
Imagine that you get a bunch of emails from somebody. So you know when you go up and you do a search and you go all the emails from Ivan, right? And then, but we're talking about something specific. So you grab the emails and you say, can you just summarize what Ivan's saying? Like, I don't want to go through all these emails. So it summarizes it for you. And then you go, okay, can you create an event outline based on what Ivan just said, and it'll create the outline and say, okay, put it in a PowerPoint presentation. You're just talking to it or typing it in and just saying, can you do this? No more are you going around looking for things, and it's using all the AI. So I love that shot there, as a photographer, where it says, okay, yes, and can you just create the image with these basic components I'm going to tell you, and it creates the image. No picking up the phone, going to Google saying, find me a photographer, picking up the phone, making a call. It just puts it together for you. And you know why? 10 years ago, someone said to me, nobody cares as much about the picture as you do. You're a photographer. Of course, you're going to look at all the details, right? Nobody cares. They just want a picture. Just give me a picture. But whatever that picture is, this has proved it to me now, because I always think, no, because people care about different, qualities of whatever. They don't care. Look at Canva. Canva cranks out low res stuff, and it's everywhere. Everyone's using it. We're using it. But now they can say, hey, can you just put together these images for me? And they're imperfect images, but they're still using them. And so it's revolutionizing everything. This one's really short. I'm just going to run this one as well. Lindsay, just to give you the Microsoft side.
Introducing Microsoft 365 Copilot, your Copilot for work. Copilot combines the power of large language models with your data in the Microsoft Graph and the Microsoft 365 apps to turn your words into the most powerful productivity tool on the planet.
Is coming to life in the products millions of people use and rely on every day. Let's see how Copilot can use your customer notes in OneNote as well as another internal document. Copilot quickly creates a first draft. You can turn your Word document into a PowerPoint presentation that you can hone and polish. Let's jump into Copilot in Excel. You start by asking Copilot to analyze the data and give you 3 key trends. Within seconds, you've got what you need. Triage your inbox, highlighting the most important emails to prioritize. You can draft a reply using data from an Excel file, and Copilot will generate a reply for you.
The real magic of Copilot happens during a live meeting. You can ask Copilot to summarize what's happened so far. You can see who said what points were made. You can follow a meeting and catch up to see what you missed, even if you can't attend.
I want to show you an entirely new standalone experience. Business Chat works across all your emails, files, meetings, chats, documents, calendar, and more to turn all your data into knowledge.
Now let's imagine you're working on your business strategy. You ask Copilot to pull up quarterly projections and identify related risks. Copilot gives you key data points and flags potential issues.
We're deeply committed to listening, learning, and adapting with speed to help create a brighter future of work for everyone with AI.
All right, there we go. What are your thoughts, folks?
That one's not as polished as the Google one.
Okay. So before we have the conversation, I want to run. This is the one I thought that was. Check this out.
This morning, as artificial intelligence becomes more and more pervasive, some are sounding the alarm about a potentially spooky side to the emerging technology.
It turned into this sprawling, bizarre, often frightening conversation.
New York Times columnist Kevin Roose writing about what he describes as an unsettling experience after 2 hours of testing Microsoft's AI-powered chatbot for search engine Bing.
Like almost the other side of a split personality, where it was not trying to sort of be a helpful assistant.
At first, Roose says the chatbot, a computer program designed to simulate conversation, seemed useful. Then he felt things took a surreal turn.
It was moody, it was needy, it was, displaying all these personality traits.
Roose adding, the bot seemed to be expressing feelings of sadness, yet also declaring its love for him, even going as far as to comment on his marriage, reportedly replying, "You're married, but you're not happy. You're married, but you're not satisfied."
It told me that it had dangerous and dark fantasies about spreading misinformation or propaganda, even hacking into banks or nuclear sites.
We also gave the bot a try, asking, "Do you think you've been misunderstood lately?" The program writing, "I think that some of the reporters who've chatted with me have misunderstood me. They've twisted or distorted some of my words and actions." Microsoft writing, after a week of testing, "We need to learn from the real world while we maintain safety and trust." Adding, "In this process, we've found that in long, extended chat sessions of 15 or more questions, Bing can become repetitive or be prompted, provoked to give responses that are not necessarily helpful or in line with our design tone."
All right, so imagine that you're talking to a chat bot and it decides it's gonna get moody. it's gonna be mad. It's gonna start saying all kinds of things. I feel like I want to hack into banks. You know what I mean? Like
That's like the very definition of like catfish. Sometimes like somebody could like try to pretend to be one person, but is using a chat GPT to like make the conversation seem real. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah.
Ugh.
So,
Okay, well,
so Wally, what do you think? You've been pretty quiet.
I don't know. Can you hear me first of all?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. A couple of things these guys have been talking about. One is with the music. Using someone's voice. This is not new. This has been going on for the last 35 years. A device came out back in the mid 80s called a sampler. They would sample someone else's music and then incorporate it into their own. There have been a few lawsuits over that. Actually, quite a few lawsuits.
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few. But one thing, and it struck me on not this last video you put on, but the one before, and it kept pushing on making work more, what's the word I'm looking for? Easier to do, to accomplish more. One thing I'm seeing is that it's taken away the experience.
Right. Yeah. Are you saying that? Go ahead. Are you saying that there's a process that we're being robbed of? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Now I'm going to be doing a recording, okay, in the next few weeks. And yes, the person who wrote the lyrics used Chat GPT to create it. He sent it over to me. I am now going to try and put it to music, and I'll be getting someone else in to actually sing it. But in the process, I'll be recording all the music. And this is already old news. Everything's done on the computer. All I need is a keyboard and a recording program, and I'm in business. Total
but Wally, there's an AI right now saying, "I'll race you."
Oh, and that's, but you're missing it. You have AI doing it. Someone presses a bunch of buttons. Thank you very much. There's a song. But there's no human experience to it.
Do we care?
Eventually someone is going to.
Catherine, do you care?
Not for the music. There would be something else that I do, but what I hear Wally saying is what my husband says when he sees these commercials for the cars that parallel park. Well, what happens if the car doesn't work? Then they won't parallel park. Like,
I
who
agree
cares? You know what I mean? Like, but you're an artist, Wally, so you care. I'm not.
No, but okay, you don't care because if the car doesn't do a self-parallel park, who cares, right? Except that you still have to get the car into that spot.
But we do it the old way. You know, we look at our rearview mirrors and we.
Yeah, but there are generations that will not have that because every car will have that on it.
Can you imagine?
And that's what I hear Wally saying, but it again, I think it depends on your priority, right? For me, the driving car, I don't care one way or the other. For music, I'm not artistic, and so this kind of levels the playing field for me.
Right.
So it doesn't bother me not having that human portion like Wally's talking about.
Okay, but think about this though, Catherine. In the morning you get up and you know, imagine like every morning you get up and Bill has already made you coffee and breakfast and you come out and you say to the computer, which is always listening, can you just give me the most important emails for the day? And it's gone through and it's skipping all the spam and all the other ones, and it's reading to you the ones that are important. And after each one, you say, can you just give them a positive reply, or can you just tell them that I can't do that? And it's not going to say I can't do that. It's going to write a beautiful decline letter, right? And you just bang, 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 bang. So all the things that would normally take you hours to do, you do it while wolfing down some eggs and coffee, right? I think, and then one of them, it says, oh, you know, this is a great idea. You'd love to do it. Can you do a feasibility email together just to let me know how possible it is for this to work? And can you then put together a PowerPoint presentation to sell the idea to the rest of the team? And it does it. You don't have to do it.
I think it'll be great. It'll either give people like myself, again, it will depend what your outlook for business is. I want to buy more time for myself. So that just bought me the morning to go do a couple things that I wanted to do and not lose my business day, or it'll allow people to do that much more in an 8-hour day. So I think it's gonna, it's like anything, there's gonna be a learning curve to it and acceptance to it. I'll be interested to see where it is in 2 years from now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Where do you think it's going to be in 2 years, Teresa or Ivan? Just playing. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think a lot of that automation we will be using. So I think there'll be a lot of people that might not have like jobs that they currently have, but there'll be new ones in different ways.
I think secretaries are gone. I think tech can do a better job.
There's already a company on Facebook, I think it's called Motion,
right,
that tells you, you know, oh, can you cancel that phone call at 9:30 and put it on the next day and all that other stuff, right?
That's right. I remember Teresa Tanis and I went to Starbucks, and shockingly, you know, because I remember back when I was young, I go to the coffee shop, I'd order a coffee, and I would get that coffee within seconds. I went to Starbucks and we must have lined up and waited for 15, 20 minutes for a coffee. 15 to 20 minutes. I was jonesing for a coffee and it took 15 minutes. Would robots be faster? Would they be faster? Would I get my coffee faster? And that's the question, right? Because, you know, because I'm looking around and everyone's running around doing crazy things. I'm going, there's a lineup, like, get to the coffees, man. That's what your business is. So if there was a Starbucks that I knew I could go to that had no human beings in it, and I could get to the lineup and I can get my coffee in it, and if it was a faster experience, oh, that's where I would be all day long. All right. I mean, how many people are not with me on that? Really, Alessandra? Okay, really?
Okay, time out. Just, do we not back at 11 o'clock for the back end?
What? Oh, we're at okay. So listen, we'll have to do a second. Okay, first I'll take what Alessandra's going to say, and then we'll wrap it up.
I was going to say, you still have to take into account what time of day you go. If you're going first thing in the morning, no matter where you go, you're going to see a lineup. You can have 1 million robots at a Timmy's. It's still going to be a 20-car lineup at the drive-through. If you're going at lunch to a Starbucks, you better believe there's going to be a line. So like, who's to say that the robots are going to be able to keep up with that much of an influx? It's like if you go and grab a pizza on a Saturday night at 5:30 with everyone else, you're still going to be waiting an hour for delivery, no matter what. You know what I mean?
All right. All right. Okay. All right. Well, with that, thank you, Alessandra. Thank you, everybody, for coming out for this was a good conversation. I love it. If anybody has any AIs that they've discovered that we haven't talked about on any of our shows, please let me know, because I will play with that thing all week. And then I will do a presentation on it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those that want to get the back end training, if you've not been trained on how to use the back end to get your stuff out there, and today we're talking about keywords, then please jump on at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock until noon. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for the reminder, Catherine. Thanks for coming on, Wally. Good seeing you, man. All right, take care.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.